Why is your dad special to you?
Because he's my dad.
Super Kick Party!
The following contest set for one fall has a 60-minute time limit and is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Introducing first the challengers from Rancho Cucamonga, California, at a combined weight of 417 pounds, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks.
Nigel, Matt and Nick Jackson have been in this position many times before when they find themselves as the challengers for a World Tag Team Championship, but never quite like this, as the whole family making the trip 45 miles east of here from Rancho Cucamonga.
They brought out the minions.
It's Matt's son, Zachary, Nick's children, Gregory, Michael, and Allison, even their brother Malachi's kids, Hezekiah and Paisley, joining them tonight for the entrance.
Yeah, we had a wonderful moment showing the children. This another wonderful moment, bringing their children out. And I gotta say, my favorite part of that was hearing the children say in unison, FTR sons.
Matt's wife, Dana, his daughter, joining the rest of the family at ringside. But Nigel, this moment I mentioned the gravity of this. This is not just about the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It's not about a place in the history books of professional wrestling. This is deeply personal.
It's not just about professionalism as well. Wait a second. Take a look at this. We're getting a real look at the young Bucks. The younger Bucks. You would have to think Nick and Matt have got to be very confident that they're leaving Los Angeles with the tag team titles, bringing out the entire clan. A bit of egg on their face if they don't defeat the champs.
I don't know if confidence is the word here. I think they're looking for more motivation. They're going to get it.
And their opponents, accompanied by Stokely from Asheville, North Carolina, at a combined weight of 443 pounds, they are the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Jack Diaz and Cash Wheeler, FTR.
Are you kidding me?
What's wrong now?
Boston Celtic colors here in Los Angeles, the home of the Lakers.
That might be a complete coincidence, Tony.
They have no class at all.
Talking of,
The 3rd, the 11th, and the 18th and current AEW World Tag Team Champions. They, alongside the Young Bucks, the only men to hold those titles 3 times. The Bucks would love nothing more than kick off their 4th round.
oh,
One second. The lights are out here on the Crypto.com arena.
he's back!
conflict dates back to nearly 1 year ago, at a time when Toni Storm was then AEW Women's World Champion, but matters, Nigel, quickly transcended the championship.
Reform, blood and guts. At the Hardcore Holiday Deathmatch, mixed up mayhem, and most recently a hair match that saw Wheeler Yuta Sean Ball by Toni Storm and Orange Cassidy. Marina Shafir is ready to enact some revenge. And Toni Storm, who wanted no interference, she may rue that decision.
And her opponent, from Stage 7 at Warner Brothers Studios, Timeless Toni Storm!
After the blood and guts match, where Timeless Toni Storm was forced to surrender the match for her team, she and Mina Shirakawa gained some measure of revenge in the semifinals, the inaugural AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament, handing a loss to Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne. But Tony, that seemed to only ratchet up the intensity between Toni Storm and Marina Shafir. Shafir seemed even more motivated to punish.
Here we go, our third title match thus far.
Look at that, Ronda Rousey getting into the mix, hyping up the AEW Continental Champion.
A following contest scheduled for one fall with no time limit is for the AEW Continental Championship. Introducing first from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing 231 pounds, he's the reigning and defending AEW Continental Champion, Jon Moxley!
Jon Moxley went through the 2025 Continental Classic Tournament, the runner-up in his group during the group stage action. But he went on to dethrone the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, not only to win the tournament, to win the AEW Continental Championship.
But it was during that tournament, Excalibur, that Moxley suffered one very ignominious defeat at the hands of his opponent tonight. And mark my words, that is going to be sitting in the craw of the Continental Champion, who looks to expunge that loss.
Jon Moxley tonight will be facing the last man to pin him in a professional wrestling ring.
It's a great point. And you know, we've seen a new national champion thus far. A great match between the Bucks, FTR, Cope and Cage back together again. How about that? And then Ronda Rousey, we still got, what, 8 matches to go?
And the challenger from Osaka, Japan, weighing 232 pounds, he's the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion, the Alpha Fiesta!
This match for the AEW Continental Championship will be contested under Continental rules. Everyone is banned from ringside. On TV, typically a 20-minute time limit, 60 minutes on pay-per-view, but tonight, no time limit, as Renee Paquette standing by.
It is absolute insanity out here tonight. Seemingly the Death Riders maybe acquired a new member in the baddest woman on the planet in Ronda Rousey. But a reminder that this match is for the Continental Championship, meaning everybody is banned from ringside. No Ronda, no Marina, no Don Callis family. This is
No doubt. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Lights out once again.
Following contest is scheduled for one fall. Being accompanied by Prince Nana from Tacoma, Washington. Weighing 240 pounds. Strickland.
Nigel McGuinness has stepped out. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, has stepped in. And Bryan, you are no stranger to Swerve Strickland and the danger he presents. You met him one-on-one in Wembley Stadium with your career on the line. What lessons would you impart from that match to Brody King?
Well, it's really hard to say because that, to me, was a very different Swerve Strickland. I mean, we saw him become the most dangerous man in AEW, but for a second, it seemed like he had matured into a more confident performer where he's confident in himself and in his wrestling ability. He seems to have gone back to his old ways, and this is a completely different Swerve Strickland than the man I beat it all in.
You know, something I noticed, which is it's a very subtle thing, but we did not see a very lighthearted dance from Prince Nana. He walked to the ring and he realized what Swerve Strickland is about to face.
From Van Nuys, California, weighing 285 pounds, Brody King.
Fan favorite in this match worldwide, Brody King, but the hometown favorite, Van Nuys, California, just a few miles north of here in the San Fernando Valley. As we're joined here by Bryan Danielson at the desk for the rest of the night. We thank Nigel McGuinness for his service with Brody King. Van Nuys, California is not an easy place to grow up. Brody King learned a lot of tough lessons in that neighborhood.
Is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW World introducing the champion from Long Island, New York, Chris Statlander.
Prior to the reign of the Toxic Spider as AEW Women's World Champion, Statlander captured the title last year at All Out in Toronto, which made her the first person to have held the AEW Women's World Championship and the TBS Championship. And over the course of her reign, she made successful defenses against Mina Shirakawa, Timeless Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné, Jamie Hayter, and Tekla in her 4.5.
And her opponent, from Vienna, Austria, she is the AEW Women's World Champion, the Toxic Spider, Tekla!
Ryan, it was last month in Dynamite, Tekla battling Chris Statlander in a strap match that, not to discredit you or anyone else, but it may have eclipsed the ferocity of your strap match, the first of its kind in All Elite Wrestling.
I don't deny that at all. But it was an incredible match. It's unfortunate the result of that match came from the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, interfering on behalf of Tekla. But I think that's why Chris Statlander wanted this match, and she wanted it 2 out of 3 falls, because she thought that loss to Tekla was a fluke. And tonight, 2 out of 3, she's going to prove that she's the better athlete.
And Tony, Tekla, since her ascendancy here in All
Their opponents, they are the AEW World Champions, the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, Godzilla, Mark Williams, and the AEW International Champion, the Maker, Kazuchika Okada!
Tony, the Don Callis family members, Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher, Kazuchika Okada, a modern-day varsity club, perhaps?
It seems that way. I was thinking the same thing with those jackets. All different colors of pink, red, and gold, if you will.
This next bout is set for 1 fall. Approaching the ring from Gomez Palacio, Durango, Mexico, weighing to 141 pounds, Andrade El Idolo.
Andrade El Idolo, Mascara Dorada, absolutely tore it up on Collision.
If you somehow missed the match that aired last night on TNT and HBO Max, you owe it to yourself to seek it out, to take in what an amazing spectacle it was. Of course, after you finish watching Revolution here tonight.
Recently on CBS Radio, Andrade El Idolo said, I remember this kid, Bandito he's talking about, asking me for pictures. Now we're going to fight. said this was a dream match. At this moment, the real Latino man, Andrade El Idolo, is the best I have ever been in my career. And I would agree, he's looking great. He's wrestling at a great pace, and of course, he is in the Don Callis family.
Well, and you add to that, this year already, he's beaten Swerve Strickland, he's beaten Kenny Omega, and he came so close to defeating Hangman Adam Page and being in the World Championship match on tonight's show.
From Torreon, Mexico, weighing 289 pounds, he is the Ring of Honor World Champion,
Bandito paying homage to one of the true legends of professional wrestling here in Southern California, Super Dragon. I was lucky enough to be a co-founder of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla alongside of him. He was somebody that really presented a lot of opportunities for athletes that grew up outside of this system.
This is a tornado trio match set for one fall. At a total combined weight of 637 pounds, David Finley, 100 Bruce Clark Connors, or Renegade Kid, the Dogs.
Tornado Trios match means that no tags are necessary, but the pinfall or submission must take place inside the ring. Brian, these men, three of the newest additions to the roster of All Elite Wrestling, but with the lengths and the levels of violence these men are really willing to go to, pardon the expression, but it's like letting the wolves into the henhouse.
Absolutely. And not only are they dangerous, not only are they violent, they're excellent at working together as a unit.
And their opponents, the team of Virtually Squeeze, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Darby.
In Los Angeles. The very first match in the history of All Elite Wrestling was the 21-man Casino Battle Royale. Double or Nothing, May 25th, 2019. The winner of that match would earn the right to vie for the right to be crowned the inaugural AEW World Champion. With 19 eliminations, the final two men in that ring were Hangman Adam Page and MJF. Hangman Adam Page was thrown over the top rope, but he hung on, found his footing, and unleashed the first ever buckshot lariat inside an AEW ring. He eliminated MJF and forever etched his name into the history books of AEW. The rivalry did not end there. It would continue. It would go dormant until just over 1 year ago when MJF revived it. And since then, the animosity between these two men has reached unparalleled levels.
Notice he's got the barbed wire already wrapped around his sleeve.
They call me Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The ground calls me salt of the earth. My victims call me the devil. And this right here, this calls me better than you. But you already knew that. See, I don't come around these parts much anymore. This rotten town and all the losers that used to inhabit it have been awfully quiet since I came to power. So why come back to a place as useless as Los Angeles, California? Well, it's 'cause there's one thing left I gots to do.
At Revolution, it was a battle with no titles, no trophies on the line, but it was a pivotal bout that would shape the year ahead for both MJF and Hangman Adam Page.